David, how's the week been after a really good win down in Hobart
Yeah,
last Saturday?
pretty stable, Oliver. I mean, I think it's one thing we've worked really hard on is having that level of consistency right across the board. Win, lose or draw. We just have to continue to look at the areas that we're surging ahead with to improve. But yeah, look, from the players' perspective, mate, there's always a bit of extra bounce in their step.
And your second game against the Dogs this season, really tough encounter last time around. How do you go about tackling the Dogs this time?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we had a lot of learnings out of that first game. Level of intensity, what you need to bring on a regular basis. There were some good learnings for us coming out of there. Tough opponent, aren't they? They're building a really strong profile. Their brand's great. Defensively they're really strong. Stoppages they're really strong. Their front half pressures, really strong. So yeah, we believe that we've made some steps forward since the last time we played them in some of the areas that we're connecting. I reckon as a group better. Our offence and defence. So look, we're looking forward to the challenge of taking on another top team. You're always learning every week, but I think when you play the best, you get some really good insights as to what the really top teams are doing. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Jared Pollock back in the extended squad. He hasn't played, I think, since round 3. How have you seen his recovery?
Yeah, well, look, we've just been patient, with Polly. Last year he had a few soft tissues as well, and this year, so we just need to be. We've been patient with him. So it was great to see him run around last week. We'll finalise the team in the next sort of 24 hours, but yeah, certainly he's back in the mix, which is great.
You kicked 9 goals and 18 behinds last week. What have you guys done during the week in training to make the most of your scoring opportunities this week against the Dogs?
Yeah, same as what we normally do, Ellie. We always have a goal kicking program. Some of it's a little bit different from week to week. Some's a bit more on the run. Some's a bit more is a set shot. We've had an extra couple of sessions, being an 8-day break this week, so that's been good. We've been able to have a couple of goes at that. A little bit in our main training session yesterday, and a little bit of what we call craft work on Tuesday. So, yeah, I think you're right. Was probably a handful of goals that you would expect the guys that had those set shots that would normally put them through. So they've gone back with Heath. They would have assessed their routines. But yeah, hopefully they can step up this week when they get their chances and put them through the big sticks.
And the game against the Dogs this weekend, will it be used as kind of like a benchmark to measure your growth from across the season?
Look, that's probably one way to look at it. But as we've said all the way along, like we're in each week to win. It's not just a matter of saying, oh, well, look, regardless of the result, we're just going to grow. I think that's a given. But look, as we said before, we're in better shape this time around. I think since the bye, our form line's been really consistent. I think our fans can see that, and I think they can actually see the growth from what we're trying to do. I think, as I said, the connection is better. Some areas that we need to be alert to, as we said, the Doggies are a high pressure team. They move the ball quick. Their defence is terrific. So we'll have our work cut out scoring against them. But yeah, we reckon we're up for the challenge.
David, it's Roy from The Age here, mate. Just keen for your views on Cameron Zurhaar. He goes in so hard so often and really sort of can change the energy of a game up with his aggression. Do you ever tell him to slow down or protect his body a little more? Because he goes in.
Yeah, a lot, Roy. He's improved in that area. Our guys love playing with him up in that forward end. As you said, I think you're spot on. The energy, the enthusiasm that he can bring into that forward line is infectious in that area. We know that when you get the ball in your front half, you're looking for that forward half pressure. And look, Cam's continuing to work at the areas that he needs to improve in as a forward. Interestingly enough, the little article about the doggy belt he's bought, We quite often, reflect on how that sort of helped him, mellow a little bit, off the field. So hopefully, we could get that a little bit more in his game. But I don't want him to lose his energy and his intensity. That's a pretty key trait, for any forward line. It's pretty important for us.
And on Robbie Tarrant, he's someone at that sort of age bracket and experience level, a lot of teams would look at and say, geez, he'd make us better. How keen are you to have him with you as you sort of move this team towards, rising up the ladder again?
Yeah, well, I couldn't see Robbie playing for another club, let's be honest.
It's that simple? It's just you just could not see him anywhere else?
Not for me. I don't envisage him going anywhere. Certainly no indication from my side of things. And from a club's perspective, I'd be very surprised if that was even a consideration. There may be some talk publicly, not that I've taken much note of it, but yeah, we've enjoyed Robbie being back. He's a key part of our leadership group. As you said, he's got a wealth of experience to help Ben out down there, Josh out down there. He adds a variation. Since he's been back in the team, it's allowed us to play Jack in a slightly different role. So, it's been great being able to coach him back in the team in the last few weeks.
No, was you able to give us an update on Tommy Powell?
Yeah, so just an update on Powley. So we rested him last week, and we've been able to do a little bit more research in regards to some of his ongoing soreness. So we'll probably just continue to manage him going forward. I think if we could, if we wanted to, we could probably push on with him, but there's probably no need at this point in time. So we'll just take the next 2 or 3 weeks just to see how things settle down for him, and maybe he's back in the team in a month's time.
David, on Powell, how difficult is it to sort of manage a young guy? Because the old school of thought would have been you make him play through his soreness so he knows how to handle it, that sort of mentality. But it seems like there's something serious guys are looking at there.
No, I think he's pushed pretty hard, Roy. All those young guys are just keen to play. So what we need to understand is that those guys come through and only play do a pre-season at about 60%, 65%. So their preparation period to play a full season, is sort of automatically compromised. So you need to manage them carefully because you don't want long-term issues with them. So we could probably push him on, but then at the end of the year he might need, 2 or 3 months worth of rest and recuperation. So that probably doesn't make sense in regards to the level that he's played at. He's obviously been pretty close to a rising star. His form's been great. And then when that starts to just fall off a little bit, then you need to ask the appropriate questions and manage him accordingly. So, but we've been wrapped with where Powley's he's got to, the level that he's been able to contribute in the midfield. His decision making's elite. So we've been really wrapped with him, and I guess it's just a no risk policy for us with him.
I know it's a big day for the club in terms of membership.
Huge day, massive day. To all our Kangaroo members out there, a massive thank you. To reach our biggest ever membership, over 45,000. As we sit here today, it's 45,133 members. So a massive thanks from not only the club but from the players, and the recognition that you guys have stuck with us, through difficulty and adversity last year, and to then break a membership record this year has just been an amazing feat. So, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you with all our sincerity, and look forward to getting you back to Marvel in the next couple of weeks and hearing those Kangaroo fans cheer loudly.
How pleasing is that to get such a high membership number when you are going through, a rebuilding period with a young group?
Oliver, I put it like this: the sign off of our fans to understand what we're doing is just incredible. They're seeing what we want to do. They want to become part of that journey. We want them to cheer for the Phillips and the Powers and the Lazzaros as hard as they have with the Tarrants and the Goldsteins and the Cunningtons, and the Zeeble. So to have them on that start of that journey with us where we're going has been phenomenal. So, you know, we can't thank them enough for their understanding and their commitment to the direction that we're taking.